Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. Welcome back to my free-to-play guide and challenge series. If you haven't seen these videos before, this is a series where I'm playing through all of DDO on a fresh free-to-play account using only what I find, so no shit buffs, no auction house, no trades with other players, no handy downs, nothing like that. So last episode we ran we ran the rest of the level 4 free-to-play quests and some of the level 5s, which were the last two depths quests, which were level 5. Today we're going to go into a few more level 5 quests and actually do some elite quests today. But before we do that, I am here in House Felarian. If you remember from last episode, we ventured into House Felarian for the first time to run Rest for the Restless, but I'm back here at the southwest portion of the map to show you something here at the erstwhile Emporium. So the reason I'm here is because this shop, you can buy storage. As you can see, I've been grabbing collectibles, and as you can see, my collectibles bag is full. I've even dumped collectibles into my crafting storage in my bank and filled that up, and I'm seeing all these collectibles that building up my inventory, taking up spots. So we're going to buy another bag here in House Felarian. An alternative, if you really like, collectibles have a lot of use for Caneth crafting, and there's some augments you can turn to get some augments in, although you need a lot of them, but you can turn in some collectibles to get a random augments. So if you want to collect collectibles, you may as well. But if you really don't want to deal with the inventory hassle, you could just throw them away. But I'm going to go ahead and I want to collect them. I enjoy collecting them, and they might be useful for this account for augments later. So that's why I'm collecting them. But anyways, here in House Felarian at the shop, we can buy an additional collectibles bag, a medium collectibles bag with 30 slots. Now, at this level, for me, it's really expensive. It's 8,900 platinum, and it's normally 9,000 with a little bit of haggle. Haggle skill, if you don't know, it brings the price down on vendors, so that's why it's 89.10. But we're going to buy one because I have enough money. I already have enough potions and wands and things that I need for a little while, so I'm good. So I can afford to spend all my money. So it's up to you. If you really want a bag, if you're following along with this video and your collectibles are building up, well, you might want to maybe sell some stuff and run some quests, save your money, and get a collectibles bag. There's also medium gem bags or ingredients bags. Those aren't really as much of a problem because we already have two ingredients bags here, a tiny and a small, which I'm not really even filling up yet. Got plenty of space. It's really just the collectibles that are giving me the problem because my storage is all full of collectibles. So we're going to buy the collectibles bag for now. So there we go, 8,900 platinum. We're down to about 700 platinum. So anytime you get a bag, what I like to do is put them here in the first tab, just so I can keep track of them. But you want to lock it, and you want to open it up and click Auto Gather. Look at that. All these items that were keeping up inventory space are now in this bag. But you want to make sure you auto gather. So now there we go. We got 18 free spaces, and also when you collect the same collectible, it'll stack on top of each other. So page torn from a research notebook, when I get more of those, it'll just stack. There is a limit to how much it stacks up to, but which is 1,000, but that's a lot. So we're good. That really helps our space for now. So that is it for that. Now let's get into, before we go to the quest we're going to do, which is in House Kundarak, I want to do a little short character update. So in terms of items, I did get, when I was prepping for this episode, I did run the two quests that we're going to run today in House Kundarak. I did run them on normal and hard so that we can run them on elite today for the video. And I got a few items. So during that, when I was unlocking those, I did get a couple things. I got this armor, which gives me some more fortification, fortification 49, along with Insightful Combat Mastery +1 for Stunning Blow, but give me a little bit more fortification. I had a little bit, so this does not stack with the augment here we discussed in a previous episode. But I went ahead and equipped it still. We will be using this armor, though, this other armor with fire absorption on it for one of the quests here in just a little bit, because there's a fire elemental in boss, and they do a lot of fire damage. So we're going to be swapping to this to get some fire absorb. What else? We've got Bracer. So this is actually for you know, a veteran player who has name gear, this is not a great item, but for me, you know, on a free to play account, this is a great item. So we got Death Block, which getting here in the next few levels, we're going to want a Death Block item because enemies are going to start casting those Insta-Death spells, and I talked about that last episode. But it also gives me Constitution +4, which the best item I had so far was Constitution +2, so that's good. It's a really nice item to get those two things I need, so I'll probably be using this for at least a few levels. And not today, but in the previous episode, I got this Helmet of Wisdom, which gave me extra rank of wisdom. So that's good. And it makes it less. And now I can get +4 wisdom by just using my Owl's wisdom wand, which does not stack with this wisdom attribute here, but it's nice to not have to worry about using my wand as much. So there's that. And is that it? I think that's it. So that's kind of it for items. I mean, stuff I would like to see is, I don't really have, I think my best strength item is still just a +1 strength item. So I would really, really like to get, yeah, I think this is still my best strength item. So I'm still looking for a good strength item. Other than that, though, I mean, getting a Wiz +4, getting a better charisma item would be nice, but I'm doing okay in terms of just random generated loot. I still have been really stingy on the great sword drops. I swear I've only pulled I think 2 great swords, which has kind of shocked me, but I guess the game sees my build and hates me. So I'm still always looking for a better weapon. And there's a great sword I might talk about in a future episode that I might grind out from a free to play quest. I might actually try to farm that, but we're not handling that. That's not a problem for today. So now let's head over to, we're going to go to House Kundarak for the first time. So let's go back over, and I think we'll go up to the teleporter up here. So House Kundarak. This is important because House Kundarak quests give you House Kundarak Favor. And House Kundarak Favor gives you extra storage space. So I would recommend the two, you don't have to run everything up through Elite, but these 2 quests I'm running today give you House Kundarak Favor. So I would recommend you do run these 3 times just so you can get the House K Favor, because it's one of the more important favor rewards in the game. So let's go House Kundarak. So these quests are located down here, but we're going to, let's go up here. We actually have to go to the tavern to get the quests, but oops, where am I going? Let's go this way. You have to actually go to the tavern to get the quests. Let's run over there. These quests, they aren't here. By the way, this is one of the collectibles vendors. By the way, you can talk to these guys if you have, like this guy's minimum level 8. If you have enough of these collectibles, this is where you talk to. And there's several other vendors like this, but not several, but a few, I believe. But you can talk to these guys and trade in these collectibles if you get them. You need 30 of this one, 10 of this one, 5 of this one. You can get a random augment. So that's nice. There's also some elixirs of healing and such. I tend to not bother with that because you can just buy that. They're not the same potions, but you can buy, if you really want potions, you can just get potions from a vendor. It's a lot easier than trying to bother with collectibles. And the other thing, which I'm not showing you, but I did mention in the second episode I did of the series, it was Caneth crafting. Collectibles, there are certain collectibles that are very useful for Caneth crafting. So if you're into that, you'll really want to keep your collectibles. All right, so the 2 quests here, as I said before, I've already run them on hard and normal so that I can unlock elite. So is this the first time I've shown an elite quest on the series? It might be. So you don't have to, I wouldn't recommend doing every quest 3 times. Because I mean, you can if you want to, by all means, but you know, as a new player, I want you to have fun. So I don't want you to like burn yourself out. So if you feel like running a quest 3 times, sure, but you can level okay by just running quests like once or twice. So plus also, as you'll notice in this game, it's a pretty big step up in difficulty when you go from normal to hard is not a big step up, but going normal to elite is a much bigger step up. We could actually run Reaper if I wanted to, but I think I'll just stick with Elite. Reaper could maybe be a topic. I could talk about that in another video. Let's go ahead, and I did buy... oh, the other thing I did since last video is I did take level 7. So let's go ahead, and so I got some level 7 hirelings. And I did run another quest on normal to prep for a video for a future episode, which was I believe Archer Point Defense. Yeah, Archer Point Defense I did on normal actually earlier today. So we'll be running that in a future episode. Should be next episode, but we'll see. Okay, so watch out here, this gate. It'll do fire damage. And we're actually, I need to be a little more careful this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and let's do all this. Let's get our buffs. All right. These quests in House K, they are pretty straightforward. Now these wolves, they are dangerous. Some of the most dangerous enemies in this quest because they can trip you, which puts you on your back and renders you helpless. Okay, right here, this is a trap. If you run in there, the gates will close and trap you in there. My hireling almost ran in there, and some enemies will spawn. So you don't have to go in there. So just ignore that. Go. It might take a second. Yeah, it took a little while for that wall to raise. So Elite, unfortunately, I can't really utilize it. Stunning Blow helps a lot more in Elite than it does because you don't really need it on normal. Because enemies die pretty fast on normal, and they're not. Honestly, if you're on a build like that's put together decently. You know, normal's not really too big of a challenge. So on Elite, you don't really, or on normal, you don't really need to use Stunning Blow that much. It's not as important. But see, there's Trip. I just got tripped. Improved Trip. It'll put you on your back like this for a solid 5 seconds. But see here, see I stunned him there. Stunning Blow is a lot more helpful because that's a lot of enemies I can't stun in these quests because they are undead. But wolves are obviously not, so I can stun those guys, and it's really that's a good example of a time where it's like really good to use a CC effect like stun. Fortunately, I failed this save there, but it's really useful because they can trip you, and if they're stunned, they can't trip. Now there are some traps here, which I'm gonna have to just time. So just like that. Just wait for it to go down. Always watch your hireling because your hireling will just run straight through. That's another big difference between Elite and Hard is the traps start to do, you know, start to do a lot more damage. Elite is a big step up from Hard, which I already said. And make sure you are, you know, upgrading your hirelings. Just, we don't need, there's a shrine. I think I'll skip it. You know, every level, a new hireling is available that's stronger than the previous one. So if you're at level 7, you know, use level 7 hirelings. Don't be using level 4 hirelings, you know. Should not be a trap there. Okay. So there is a bunch of fire damage here. In this end fight, there's going to be a fire elemental. So here I'm going to swap to my fire absorption. Now, fire absorption does, it's a separate effect. It does stack with your fire resistance, because fire resistance is a certain number of points of fire damage that gets subtracted to how much you take, where fire absorption is you basically absorb a percentage of it. So they both count. They stack with each other effectively. It's two effects that work together rather than only one counting. Okay, so go ahead and there's also some cold here from Memphis, if I recall correctly. So we've got our fire absorb armor on, and we'll do an acid, and then we'll do a fire. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh these. Get a little more stat here. I've even got a couple potions. I picked up a stone skin potion, which I will drink if I really need to. Stone skin's a pretty nice spell. It's basically a bunch of hit points, that temporary hit points essentially. And once the enemy eats through those, it's gone. But it's nice to have. Okay, so here there's some runes here. You just need to go touch them. Watch out for the fire. It can burn you. So we just need to touch all 4 runes, and then it will activate the infight. So we got this big summon, fire elemental. We got some fire, fire ellies. So, and unfortunately my hireling walked right. I think he walked right into, yeah, he walked right into the trap there. I should have. So there we go, end of the fight. I really should have probably had my hireling stay in place. So we're gonna go ahead and put on our other armor. So really just wanted the fire absorb for that fight. Alright, so now that the quest is done, we can get our chest. So there we go. Summoning on Elite. The other good thing about running on Elite is the effective level of the quest goes up. So this is a level 5 quest, but on Elite it's level 7. So Elite is basically gives you so hard is +1 to the base level of the quest, and Elite is +2, and that counts for purposes of the random gen loot. So you get better random gen loot. It doesn't count like for purposes of say like delving bonus. It doesn't matter. Like you can't be level 9. You still won't. So delving bonus, I believe I talked about in a previous episode. That's basically the extra XP you get for being in heroics, no more than 2 over the base level of the quest. But if you're running Elite, like if you're running this level 5 quest on Elite, you still have to be no higher than level 7. So it doesn't, like you can't be at level 9. I've seen people get confused about that. But for purposes of delving bonus, that only counts for it counts versus the base level of the quest for delving bonus. It's a lot of little confusing things like that you gotta just get used to with DDO. So here's the second one. So that was Lair of Summoning. This is Chamber of Insanity. This quest is very similar in length. We'll just do Elite again. So if you go to Reaper, I guess I can talk a little bit about Reaper. So Reaper mode, if you go R1, you do get more XP than Elite, but there's some things that happen with Reaper mode that make it quite different. With Reaper mode, you start to have actual Reapers that spawn, and they have special traits, and there's different Reapers. I don't really know if I need to go into all that today, but it's harder than for a first life character. Now, some advanced players will find R1 easier because there's Reaper enhancements, which I guess I'll get into in a minute. But for you as a first lifer with no Reaper points, it's going to be a lot harder than Elite. So I would say just stick to Elite for now. The other thing about Reaper is you start getting a self-heal penalty. So Reaper is kind of built to encourage... It's really built to encourage party play. So you have a self-healing penalty on Reaper, which the higher Reaper level you go, the higher Reaper skull is what players refer to it as, the more of a penalty you get for self-healing. And that's only in combat. You don't get the penalty while out of combat. But yeah, it's... The other thing you get in Reaper mode is you get Reaper experience, which is a different type of experience. So if you go to you can look at it, there's Reaper enhancements. So you get Reaper XP if you play Reaper mode, which gives you additional enhancements. It gives you additional points to get extra abilities and make your character stronger. So it's a whole different layer to DDO, which I could talk a lot about. Okay, anyways, back to the quest. Chamber of Insanity. Here we have a bunch of these rooms. You'll see a lever, and you'll see these vents with poison traps. So what you do have to pull that lever to advance, but since you will get sprayed with a poison trap, it's better to just let your hireling do that. So I'm going to have my hireling pull the lever. And sometimes the hirelings do not want to cooperate. That way, if I can get him to actually get this to work, which he's being very finicky right now. There we go. See, he'll get hit with the poison. See, he took about 60 points of damage there. You also want to stay away because they will continue. The traps will continue to go off, as you can see there. So stay to the edge. Don't run in the center. Stay out of the center. If you have a pet, say if you're an artificer, for example, or a wizard or something, and you have a pet, then you can have your pet pull that lever instead. Yeah, there's certain, if you aren't aware, there's certain pets or certain classes like those two classes, and I think Dark Hunter is the other one, that, oh, Sleet Storm. I'm actually surprised. I got hit with that. Surprised they're casting that already. Anyways, there's certain classes that, like, I think it's Dark Hunter, Wizard, and Artificer. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's, I'm trying to remember because I haven't played Dark Hunter, so I believe Dark Hunter gets a pet, but I know Artificer and Wizard do. But anyways, if you have a pet, you can have them pull levers for you, which is probably the most useful thing they do because they aren't too helpful in terms of, like, damage. So here's another lever. We'll have our hireling pull that again. Let's have him teleport here so he stays out of the trap. We want the shade here to run after us. We want him to come to us so we don't have to run through those poison traps. So I think this is, yeah, this is just a shrine if we need it. It's never a bad idea also, by the way, right here. So you see how this was closed? If I open the doors like I just did, that gives me access to the shrine. So if I were to die, like down here, let's say this guy killed me. If I had opened the door, I could run back to the shrine and resurrect myself. But if I hadn't opened the door, I wouldn't be able to because you cannot open doors while dead. So it's never a bad idea if you're in a quest where unless you're running on a really easy difficulty, like if you're running on Elite or Reaper or something, it's never a bad idea when you pass the shrine to open the doors, so that if you do die, you can run back. Assuming you're in range, you can run back and use the resurrection shrine in there. Okay, we got one more here. I'm gonna go ahead and drink another acid pot since ours is about to expire. I'll go ahead and drink another fire as well. I guess I could have gone ahead and shrined, honestly. So we got another lever. Another Wraith to kill. Lair almost died there. Yeah, and he died. That's why we don't want to stay. That's why we don't want to stay. We do not want to go in the center. Those traps do quite a bit of damage, and I actually got hit. Oh my god, that was close. See? I'm glad I opened the door. Yeah, so I actually, that was my bad. I didn't think it would hit me from there. So I am actually worried about grabbing his stone because I'm going to hit with the trap again and die. So, let's go ahead and actually, I'll just heal myself to full. Because I don't, well, you know what? Lair might be able to run to the shrine. Let's see if he can run. That was almost death number 2. Yeah, he should be able to make it without getting recalled. Can you raise yourself? Yeah, he's good. All right, so let's have him heal me, and then I'll go ahead and shrine up, I guess. See, I'm glad I drank that acid pot. Although I had a little bit more left on there, but so you know what? Let me have him heal me first before he shrines. And I can actually go ahead and heal my hireling with my lay on hands. Get him a little more HP. Though he can, honestly, he can just heal himself before he shrines. So it's a good idea if you don't have a lot of hit points and you have spell points, or your hireling has spell points to heal you. You want to heal first and then shrine, because shrining only gives you a small portion of your hit points back. It gives you all your spell points, but not all your hit points. So you want to go ahead and use any spell points for healing before you shrine, because when you shrine, it'll refresh your spell points. But if you don't heal yourself before you shrine, you'll end up wasting spell points that you could have had to full by healing yourself after the shrine. So just another thing to kind of keep in mind. I'm still kind of surprised I got hit with that acid trap. I thought I was far enough away, but sometimes looks can be deceiving in DDO, and things can be, you know, things can hit you even if the animation doesn't seem like they will. All right. Stay out of there. So we've got one more of those rooms to do. But it would have totally been fine if I died there, because again, I opened that room, right? $103 Siberia's Dragon Shard fragments. See, you'll see drops like we used. If you saw last episode, we used 400 of those to bind our great sword. So they drop pretty regularly like that. Like they're not hard to get. You can also check. I'm limiting myself to not using the auction house for this playthrough, but you can obviously look on the auction house or get up to see that just killed Lair right there. And this guy is a champion, which is makes him extra painful. Let's see. And I'm not gonna be able to get his stone, I don't think. So I might be doing this. Yeah, I'm kind of too afraid of dying. Do I want to risk it? I might. Let me run back there. I might be able to grab it. Although it should be fine. I think I can get it. Yeah, it should be fine. Well, maybe not. I should be able to survive one hit. Yeah, okay, there we go. All right. The question is, do I want to go? Do I want to go? I guess I'll get my hireling rezzed here. I just realized I haven't been using my Expedious Retreat clickies. So this is where the infight is down there. I mean, I'm being a little too cautious here. It should be fine without the hireling, but we'll go ahead and res him anyway. I'll not take any chances here. So even though I don't have a raise spell, you know, you can always pick up their stone, and then you don't have to drop it actually like I did, but I kind of do that out of habit from grouping with other players, but just have them use the res shrine. But you will have to pick up their stone because they, like you know, have a limit. All right, so let's check our buffs. I think we're good on buffs. Let's just go kill everything. We got a shrine, so the door's open, so if we die in the infight, we can run back. And so it might have been smarter for me to go back and take out this trash first before I killed the boss. So I took more damage by not doing that, but it's fine. And yeah, I definitely wouldn't have needed the hireling. Alright, so actually, what is this? Is this ring any good? Negative resistance. We have a ring that's not really doing anything, which is the striding plus 5% ring, because we have the Expedious Retreat stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to equip this ring because it does give me negative resistance, which is good because we are going to, at this level in quests like this, you know, face a lot of undead. So go ahead and wear that. Sonic Glory, that doesn't help us because of casting, but yeah, I mean, not like an amazing ring by any means, but it's better than nothing. So now we have our full favor. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. That'll be it for this one. But yeah, definitely go run these quests, guys. These 2 quests are part of the House K favor. You definitely want max favor, especially from these really easy ones. If these are too hard for you on Elite right now, then it's fine. You can still run them on Elite later, like wait till you're level 8 or 9 or something and then try. So don't feel bad if you can't quite do Elite yet. But okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you stay tuned for the next one. Hope you're enjoying the series. If you got anything you want me to talk about or questions or stuff like that, I'll try to answer that in the comments or maybe talk about it in a future video if you are watching this as I'm recording the series. So, all right, guys, have a good one. Take care.